dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. The Pikeville Panthers boys basketball team claimed some hardware in Richmond this afternoon, and they have only recently made it back home. WYMT's Zach Hawk was in downtown Pikeville, where the party is wrapping up. Zach, what's the scene looking out like there?
Keaton, well, it was absolutely electric. If you can see behind me, it's pretty quiet right now. I think the cold kind of chased people home maybe a little earlier than they wanted to. But, you know, this is a town that was looking for a big win, and these boys delivered it.
I mean, we're super pumped, but I just want to let everyone know that we're not finished yet. I mean, it's obviously awesome. We have a all-A state championship right in front of us, but we're chasing district next, and then the region title after that, and then state after that.
Keaton, so he's right. This is just a mid-season tournament. There's a lot of games coming up and more hardware to win come March. Live in Pikeville, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News. Back to you.
Good stuff, Zach. Thank you. John Lowe's going to have more on that in sports. More than $1 million in federal agency management agency funds are going into Breathitt County after the area has been dealing with major flooding over the past year. WYMT's Chaz Jenkins spoke with county officials on the plans moving forward.
Getting assistance from FEMA, helping repair the county from past flood damage.
With FEMA money, the only thing you can use that money for is exactly what it's written up for. Most all of our projects are slips.
All funds going towards county road repairs and construction.
They'll let me write up rail and cribbing to put along the side of the embankment to stabilize that road. And we have right now for just January, we have 16 sites, road sites. For March, we have 154 road sites.
Confident these projects will help prevent future flooding.
You go just right 100 foot from that site and it's washed out, but not the rail and cribbing site, it stayed. So once we get all the rail and cribbing in place, it does improve the road tremendously.
Improvements that county officials deem necessary.
Since I've been in office, I've dealt with 3 floods and an ice storm, and then the snow ain't been no fun, and it's just been one thing right after other ever since I've been here.
Asking the county to be patient as planning continues.
It just takes time, and Breathitt County being the second biggest county geographically, I mean, it's a struggle. I've got just a list here of projects that have been done since I've been in here.
A slow process that will be worth the wait. In Breathitt County, Chaz Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Bank says the first step moving forward is to start bidding out projects. Once that's completed, construction can begin.
Well, it was a quiet end to the weekend across the mountains, and I think that's some pretty welcome news after this pretty active start to the new year across the area. Let's take a look at that camera right now over the London Corbin Airport. It is another chilly night across the area. Temperature at 27 at the airport, but we are dry under a clear sky, and temperatures across the board in those upper 20s to lower 30s. 30 for Hazard, 27 in London, 28 for Somerset and Monticello. Upon satellite and radar, not much happening out there this evening and into tonight as we are dry under a mostly clear sky. A little bit of high clouds moving in from the west, but overall not much happening out there. We stay dry throughout the rest of tonight and partly cloudy. Lows falling off into those low to middle 20s, but how long does this dry weather last? I got that full forecast coming up just a little bit later. Keaton.
Thanks, Cameron. With ongoing frigid temperatures in the area, fire officials are giving a warning. Folks need to make sure they're heating their homes safely. Home heating is the second leading cause of fires, and incidents uptick during winter months. Tammy Hickson lost her boyfriend and home to a fire. Officials believe it started due to the space heater.
I just took a 2x4 and went to the back window and started knocking out the windows so anybody and everybody could get out of the trailer.
To hopefully limit some of these incidents during colder months, if you're going to use a space heater, make sure you create a kid-free zone around it. Make sure it's away from anything flammable, and always remember to turn it off before you leave your home. As winter storm after winter storm continues to hit the Commonwealth, crews continue to salt the roads. But if you're not washing your car after, it can cause long-term damage. For car wash owners, it's the busiest time of the year as salt blankets the roads. They say it's essential to get it off quickly. Forrest Turner, a third-generation owner of Mr. Sparkle Car Wash in Lexington, says it's important to get the salt off within 3 days.
You know, salt is just rocks. It's crystal salt, you know, and that gets all over the paint, gets inside up under the undercarriage, and it can really cause a lot of damage to the painted surfaces of the vehicle. You definitely want to get it off your frame and your rims and any of your metal parts.
Turner says it's best to wait 1 or 2 days after a storm to wash your car to let any salt still lingering clear off the roads. Starting and operating a small business can be stressful, but adding a pandemic to the mix can pose an entirely different set of obstacles. WYMT's Alyssa Williams spoke to the owner of the Red Spotted Newt here in Hazard as she celebrates the bookstore's 2nd anniversary.
The Red Spotted Newt in Hazard opened its doors January 30th of 2020, offering a new and exciting small business for community members to enjoy.
A very successful opening. We opened on Main Street, and the building was tiny, but it was a space that allowed me to kind of gauge the interest of the community.
But only days after the grand opening, something happened that the business's owner, Mandy Scheffel, could not have anticipated.
The store flooded. 2 feet of water. We had to empty the entire store, and that was it was disheartening for me after I had put that much work into it, but there was never a moment where I thought, okay, I'm gonna give up on this.
With the support and encouragement of her community, Mandy was able to get the business up and running again. But only a few months later, the COVID-19 pandemic began.
Again, the community support was there. I was selling books out of the front door. People would just place an order online, drive up through the front door like a drive-through. It was a drive-through bookstore for 2 months.
Later that year, the business would relocate from Main Street to Memorial Drive. Scheffel says these obstacles and changes helped her learn how to roll with the punches.
I've taken a lot of blows in the 2 years that I've been open and still been able to survive and grow.
Showing other small business owners that they too can overcome whatever stands in their way. In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Scheffel adds that in the future she'd love to create an event space for the bookstore, host book clubs, and even implement a weekly children's story hour. Deputy Clyde Trent of the Knox County Sheriff's Department was laid to rest today. Trent had been with the department since 2015 but was in law enforcement for over 20 years. Before that, he spent 25 years as an aircraft welder, even working on Air Force One. Trent was also a recording music artist and singer. He was buried this evening at Hopper Funeral Home in Barberville. The funeral for late London police officer Travis Hurley is tomorrow. Hurley was a retired lieutenant and former canine handler. Funeral services will be held at 1 p.m. at First Baptist in East Bernstadt, and burial will follow at Mount Zion Cemetery in East Bernstadt. Coming up at 11, a powerful winter storm system that produced snow squalls in Kentucky has left thousands in the Northeast without power.
This dry weather continues into your Monday, but we are watching the middle of the work week for our next rain chance. I got your full forecast coming up.